Hello, everybody. It's Nate. Hope y'all are doing good. I know it's been a minute. I know that we missed a couple podcast episodes. I'm making this video because of a couple global events, or a big global event that's going on, namely war in the Middle East. And I don't want to allude to anything. I don't want to come here and make bold claims, or come here and say that this is going to be World War III, this is going to be the final conflict drama, this is going to be this is going to be that. I came here to urge clarity in a time of chaos to everybody listening. Because I'm going to be real, and this isn't coming from a place of, let's say, a spiritual ego or an ego at all. This is just coming from a place of love, okay? And it's coming from somebody who's been down all those conspiracy rabbit holes, all those geopolitical rabbit holes. I'm not saying it isn't good to keep up with events. In fact, that's what I do. I listen to all sorts of professors, scientists, geopolitical experts, and whatnot, and how they are essentially, describing the events that are going on from both sides. As you should, because this feels like a gigantic move to create and generate fear so that there can be a gigantic loosh harvesting. And in fact, that is what's going on in the Middle East. It's a gigantic loosh harvesting. It's almost a ritual in front of everyone, right? And people are looking at this and picking sides. And I want to urge you, the one who sees clearly and the one who has clarity in their minds and in their hearts, to hold peace right now, okay? Peace for everyone. Last month, it was crazy energy. Attacks everywhere. I'm going to be real. Attacks in every corner, in every direction. Trying to throw people off center, off their proper axis within, Throw off your balance. And it worked for many people. Me included. I'm not going to hide that, I did say to start the year, it is to be impeccable, right? That was my call to action. And I'm doing my best to be, but, I faltered a bit too. And I say all this to say, with this war in Iran that's happening, as I continue with this filibuster, with this war in Iran that is occurring, it is a prelude to the final conflict drama that has been prophesied in all sorts of religions. In fact, the fact of the matter is, right, the religious parties or the spiritual factions, let's say, that are engaging in this are not Christic. These are fallen angelic legions that are now, I don't know what has happened. I don't know if their little intruder resistance group isn't working out, but they're fighting again, and it's going to be bad. However, in the midst of this chaos, you are called to sit there with clarity. Whichever part of the world you're in, whichever side that you choose to select, I urge, don't select the side. Don't, because the game of good and evil is going to break down, man. There is no real good and there's no evil. There's only acknowledgement of life and forgetting of life, or unacknowledgement of life, or love. Live backwards, evolution backwards. That is the attempt here. The attempt here is essentially a culling of the human populace, because there's too many of us now, right? So because there's too many humans out there, if enough, let's say, critical mass of frequency is built up, which is actually going to be much easier because there's a lot more people, because people who are aligned with source can amass more frequency than those in reverse, right? Because they need to loosh. That's what the whole Epstein thing is, to show you their loosh. But the thing is, we've known this for years. Everything that's happening, many of you have known. Specifically since COVID, many of you known, because there was a big movement during COVID, almost a spiritual renaissance, let's say. Not just during COVID, but in the beginning when the, let's say, freedom teachings were being brought. In the early 2000s, the people there, and some of you are still here from there, They held it down for us. They brought the frequency, the blueprint. Now that the frequency and the blueprint is here, I urge everybody to go start a tangible structure of the soul and begin, if you haven't already, your bioregenesis, or just be a genuinely good human being, whatever that seems. How I said earlier, it's not about good and evil, but there is an honorable way of living life, in honor of all life. Just trying to be the best you can be. So, for clarity's sake, let us say there is a good way of being. A peaceful, joyful, loving way, an egalitarian humanity way of being that is required now, wherever you are, and whoever is hearing this. This is a call to peace. This isn't a call to, more division, as some people in the community are still caught in their little division. This isn't about even, let's say, material anymore. Part of it is material. Part of the balancing we have to do is in the material world, in our financial world. But now the main balancing is in the spiritual, mental, and emotional planes. In the heart space. In the astral. All the way up to our oversoul levels, let's drop them in. All the way to our avatar, let alone avatar, let's go to our rishi. Feel that love. And breathe it in. The love that you are. Anyways, that's what I wanted to say. I know I may have went off in all sorts of different directions as we're discussing. I know I still have that AI video. It will come. It will be delayed a bit because personal reasons. And if there's more that you guys would like to, have me just rant about, because sometimes, in drives to and from places, I find clarity. I'm also going to a job. I just got a job, so, I feel good about that. I got my own personal victories, and I know you do too. I know that you do too. And I know we all have our own personal failures. But failure, if you see failure as just that, failure, you'll never get anywhere. But if you can see failure as a road to the successful bioregenesis that you are seeking and that your soul came down for, alright, there's no time for games now. Game playing has already been done. The game has already been won. If you want to look at it, winners and losers. Source is all that is. And now Source is coming. God is coming. The real God. Not your little Jehovah's or... Yeah, not you. You hear them right there, man. Not the little Jehovah's or the Yahweh's. Or even the Allahs. Or all of these Omicron, Draconian, fallen gods, Anunnaki gods. None of these Necromaton, Andromi, beetle gods. I'm done and sick and tired of them, bro. They can go to war. I'm going to just take my portion of the planet with me. You know what I mean? Earth. There's a portion of Earth for us here. There are buffers, zones, fields of peace within. And they start from within. They start here. You create your own buffer. You are the peace. Anyways, they're mad. They're mad I'm telling you this. I know they're mad. I know they're mad because you hear that little wee noise. Yeah, they're trying to make interference, and that's the little shit you'll notice. Anyways, no fear, And let us now end this and close this with the song of Lyra. I know there's some people out there that are trying to say these songs, are outdated and they're trying to make new songs for us, but I don't know about that. All I'm gonna know is Maharata Kumaivekta Eyanete Ana Nevoka Unibli Umbaivekta Mahabaivekta Unure Urnamur Iste unte ise trajda hera patate humma ashelumta ista inta due shadai ure akunta shadai ure akunta Peace and blessings to each and every one of y'all. Omni love.